Hello and welcome back to my channel. Um, Today we are going to start a new training. As I promised, we are going to start a training about CAPL programming. The last training we had it's Vita Studio training. If you didn't watch it, I invite you to go to the channel and take all the training. It will be very useful for you. So the difference between Vita Studio and CAPL programming. The Vita Studio it's more a visual programming language which can help you to automate test cases in automotive area. Um, when the couple programming it's more programming. Yeah, it's a programming language based on C. So if you know C, it will be very useful. It will be very easy to understand the program and write code. Uh, You can use Vita Studio, but unfortunately in Vita Studio you are a little limited because you cannot do everything you want, for your test cases for Canoe. So you will be dependent on a couple. So I recommend you to learn them both because in this case you will be able to be more efficient and more proficient in your test automation topics. So for today, we're going to have an introduction on the CAPL browser to see where we can write the code and how to do this. So first of all, let's start the CAPL browser. If you go in Canoe, here we have the menu. In Tools, you have here CAPL browser. If you just click on it, the browser will open. It will open an empty file, a new file, which is .con. Those are the extensions we use for CAPL, .con. You can see here the name of the file. It's a new file which is not saved yet. Of course, have other if you have other files in the Canoe, you can open them directly. For example, here in the simulation setup, you have a node. You can right click and edit, or just click on this crayon. It will open the file which is configured on that node, the engine node, the ECU engine. So in the background of this node, we have this couple file, which includes all the code needed to run on that node. So in this case, we have the engine.con. Um, if we go further, we have the structure of the couple browser. So here we have the event handling. You can see we have different events, or maybe we can say this is the table of contents of your whole file, right? Because you will have here the functions, the test cases, the all event handling, and so on. So it's easy to access them very easily. For example, let's go here and I will show you. You have the includes in the top, the functions. So it's easy. You just click on what you need and you go fast over there. So regarding the events, we have system events on start. Those events are very useful because it lets you to measure a lot of things in the real-time measurement, right? When your simulation is working, all the messages are on the bus, and you will be able to just read all the signals you want in the real time. So you can use the system ones on stop measurement, on start. When you start the measurement, you can do something, turn on the power supply or whatever. We have the CAN, event handler, on message, on error frame, on bus off, a diagnostic, on the request. When we send a specific request, we want to save that request maybe, or do something with it. So those will be very useful. Here it's the event part. Here in the middle we have the includes. We use we can use You can use some files to create, for example, functions, test functions, for example, and you can store them in a .scene file. You can see here we have an example. Usually the .scene are used as libraries, so we just include them in our file, and over there we can store functions or global variables if you don't want to save them here. So here you put your includes. Here is um, the variables section. Here, everything you define here, it will be like a global variable to all this file. So um, yes, you can define here your variables. You can see here some examples. We have a lot of variables defined. And here you write your code. You define your functions, your test cases, and whatever you need here. Okay, down here we have the output or the find results. When you try to find something, you will get the results here, but especially the output, it's more important. Um, we see here the compile result. So when you compile the file, you will see here the errors or warnings what you have. For example, if I compile this, I hit the button compile, it states what file it's compiled, engine.con, and compilation succeeded, zero errors and zero warnings. Okay, in the right here we have the CAPL functions. You can find easy function here from the CAPL documentation library, which is standard from Vector. Um, and the symbols. Yeah, first of all, we have here the network symbols, the messages on CAN, Ethernet, or what other bus do you have. The variables, of course, um, participants, application layer, not so important. We have here the diagnostic classes and the diagnostic services, which is nice that you have them here because you just drag and drop your request and you can define a diagnostic service request. Okay, here in the top we have the file menu, which is really the same. It's the generic file menu. You can find it in any other tool. The home, we have the paste and copy, the compile, the environment import. Basically, with this, you can import your environment, the current configuration from the kernel. You import your messages and sysvar and everything if it's needed. The navigation, this is very useful when you go to a function or you go from where you use a function to the definition of the function and you just want to see what the function does and you go back, you just navigate backwards. You don't need to scroll down again to find your function. Expand, collapse, find, replace, select all. I usually use those, comment out and uncomment. When you want to comment a bigger section, it's really easy to just select it and comment. So it's easy to use it. Show generated code. And we have here filter. For example, if you want to add the Ethernet event handling, you can just click it here and you see you now have the event handler on Ethernet packet, on Ethernet error packet, and so on. FlexRay or most or I don't know, whatever you need. The debug section here, you can find errors or set breakpoints. I usually don't use it, but I don't know, maybe it will be helpful for somebody. And I think this is more important, the layout. Um, you can split your view here if you want, or if you close by accident those tabs, oops, where I can find them, you can find them here, right? This is the symbol, the CAPL functions, right? Output, find, bookmarks, breakpoints, or just let's say if you close this, you just reset the view, and this is the default view. So If you lose one tab from here, just come here in the layout, reset view, and you're fine. Don't panic, okay? Okay, here we have the options, I think. Some options if you need. Not not so important. The save button, open file, undo, back, navigate backwards or forward. Okay, we talked here about the event procedures. Just I want to show you how to create one. So for CAN, let's see, new event handler on message. This will be very useful. So you just right click here, go here and click on one on message. And you have here, you just put the name of the message. Let's take one example, console1, just put it here, and console2. So basically, um, what those events will do. Every time this every time this message is sent on the bus, this code between those brackets will be executed. So you just maybe want to take some bytes from the message or want to check a signal from the message, or I don't know. Depends on what you need to do. So here you have the event handling. It's very useful. We'll talk about in the future sessions. Another thing I want to show you is the coloring of the syntax, right? So you can see some different colors here. The strings are in red, so this is a string. Comments are in green, only the comments are in green. Text or numbers and operators are black. And of course, types or functions or reserved keywords, I would say they're in blue. So those are reserved keywords. If, else, this, on timer, yeah, and so on. I think those are the coloring of the syntax. Trying to see if I find anything else. Of course, here we have the strings, right? In between. Okay. And how do we compile the code? I showed you here. I think that the key is F9. Yeah, if you just hit F9, it will compile this file, or you can compile all, Shift F9, all the files which are open. So if I compile this again, you will see no errors, but let's do an error. I will just remove here the comma and compile again. Oh, and I get even more error because yeah. So in this case, I have more errors. But what should I do now? Because I have a lot of errors. I just go to the first one and double click, and if it will get me here. So it's very easy to find the errors, like double clicking, and yeah, just fix the error, try to compile again, and voila, we have zero errors. Okay, so that's it for today. The CAPL browser, it's an introduction for the CAPL programming. Of course, we are going to use it a lot because you'll write all the code in this one. You can use Notepad++, but I don't recommend because you won't have those important tabs here and you don't have access directly to your environment variables. So I recommend use the CAPL browser. It will be the best choice. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.